Giannis won his first title and proved many, if not all, his doubters wrong. That could include James Harden, who the Greek freak had some beef with over at last year's All-Star game. Later on, Harden said it would be easy to be 7 feet tall like Giannis. Twitter has been trending about this beef ever since Giannis won it all, and the Greek freak had a message for what he thought was the easy way to play basketball. Take a listen.
Like, it's easy to go somewhere and go and win a championship with somebody else. It's easy. I could go, like, I don't want to put anybody in the spot, but I could go to a super team and, you know, just do my part and win a championship, still one. But this is the hard way to do it, and this is the way. And we did it. Did it. We did it, man.
It's like that little kiss at the end. Shannon, did Giannis prove Harden wrong?
No, but what Giannis didn't prove James Harden wrong, but what James said wasn't incorrect. Skip, you don't get to be a professional without being skilled. Now, there's different levels of skills. Now, is Giannis as skilled as James Harden? No. But that doesn't mean he's not a great player. There's varying degrees. Because somebody can't run as fast as Lamar Jackson or throw the ball as far as Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, that doesn't mean they're not skilled. And I think what James, you know, you look at it like, well, he can't do step back like me. He can't shoot the ball like Steph or Dame. He ain't got handles like Kyrie. All that skill. But to be able to be that tall and to be able to move like he can and to put the ball in the basket like he can, Skip, that is a skill. And it should not be undervalued. And that's the part that nobody said Shaq wasn't skilled. Shaq was 7'1". Shaq played to his strength. Shaq, like, I'm 7'1", I'm a bully, I'm bullying everybody out here. Call a foul, but I'm drop stepping and I'm dunking it. I'm throwing a little baby hook over either shoulder. That's what I got for you. Mm-hmm. Nobody said Shaq, but they just take shot after shot after shot after shot at Giannis. I don't know why. Maybe you're right. Maybe he did cause it when he said, you know, he wants somebody to play defense, or he didn't want the dribbler. Okay, maybe he started it. But if anybody think Giannis isn't skilled, Skip, is like anything. I mean, they're doctors. Just because someone's not a neuroscientist, that doesn't mean an orthopedic is not as skilled as a neuroscientist. There are different levels of skills. There's different levels of skill. Is Giannis as skilled as James Harden? Probably not. But to think that he isn't skilled, that's a gross overstatement.
Okay, so let me get this off my chest before I launch on this. I realize to the victor go the spoils, but yesterday I watched the parade and all the post-parade, and I watched all that. It was on and on and on and on. Yeah, he's doing his free throw. I'm just getting a little sick and tired of Giannis. Oh, he is. I know he's a nice young man.
Giannis can't be a villain. Yeah. You can't turn him into a villain.
Well, he's gloating and gloating and gloating until I can't take it anymore. I've just seen enough of him gloating over, I did it, we did it the hard way, we're not a super team. Everybody said I couldn't, and I did.
Right.
And I get it, and you had your moment, and let's move on, okay? Because the truth is, Giannis started this beef. He started it live on TNT as he picked the All-Star team 2020, February 6th, the night of February 6th, 2020, live with Charles and Shaq and Kenny. He started it because he just plunged out there and everybody gives him a break. Well, he's Greek and he doesn't really get what's going on here, you know, and everybody loves him. He knew exactly what he was saying.
Because what did he say, Skip? He could have went to a super team. He could have went to, I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what? So you know exactly what not to say.
He said when he got to the decision to be made over his next pick, I want somebody who's going to pass the ball. And that's when Charles jumped in and said, oh, you don't want the dribbler, right?
Right.
Ha, ha, ha. No, I'm trying to decide between Kemba and Trey. Kemba and Trey? He took Kemba Walker. He said, I'm going to go with the crossover killer, step back master Kemba Walker over James Harden, who is simply the most gifted perimeter player I've ever seen in all my time observing the NBA.
Who was averaging like 35, 36 at the time.
Okay. And then the game happens, and after the game, Giannis is just rubbing it in, man. He's just pouring salt into the wound, and he says, we went to whoever James Harden was guarding. Went on to say, that's who we thought have the best opportunity to score is who he's guarding. Well, man, you're asking for it here because James isn't a beefer. He kind of stays to himself mostly. He's not a trash talker, but he just couldn't help him. I mean, you got to defend your honor at some point.
Just talk to me crazy, bro.
Right. So he's doing a sit down with Rachel Nichols, and he just says, "Man, I wish I could run and jump and be 7 feet tall and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all." And he went on to say, I had to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I'll take that any day over run and jump and dunk. Okay, to your point, Giannis has a handle. He can handle the basketball. There's no doubt. If you give him a head start from the top of the circle, somewhere out on the wing, if you give him a head start, he can definitely dribble the ball to the basket and slam it in your face.
Yes.
And he can flat out pass the basketball because he averaged 6 assists a game through the finals. That's some serious business. As a 6'11" passer, he has. It's beyond skill. He actually has a gift for it.
Yeah.
He can see it and feel it. No, I give you that. So we're not talking about unskilled here. But I'm going to say it one more time. Monty Williams played the most wrong-headed, stubborn defensive strategy on Giannis I've ever seen in a finals because he just wouldn't give it up. We saw Toronto, quote-unquote, build a 3-man wall in 2019 and take Giannis completely out of 4 straight games that the Bucks lost.
Yeah.
And Giannis shot 44% from the field. In the finals, he was 62%. He was not just running and dunking on their heads. They were saying, no, you got to shoot mid-range. You're going to have to shoot 12-foot jump shots. He does not have that in his arsenal. We're going to put you on the free throw line, where against Toronto, he shot 47% from the free throw line. I didn't even know who that guy was the other night. In Game 6, he was 17 of 19. You want to talk about going into the twilight zone? I don't know what happened because obviously on the road, he was a sub 50% free throw shooter because they would quick count him down and he's like, okay, I'll go. And we saw him airballing. He was like averaging 2 airball free throws a game on the road.
And one 3-pointer a game.
Okay, airball. Okay, that's that guy who made 17 of 19. It's like impossibly great. I don't know what got into him, but he was all-time, because they stuck a 22-year-old 7-footer on him who could not match his motor, number one, because DeAndre would just seemed out of it. He just got overmatched on the RPM of the game. And it's like DeAndre Ayton, he comes and goes. You have to try to light his fire. And when it gets lit, he can play.
Yeah, I mean, but playing a sport is a skill.
Yeah.
To play at that level and to be the MVP, Skip, you got to have skill.
No,
it's
I got
it. Dennis Rodman wasn't as skilled as Karl Malone or Charles Barkley. But to be able to lead the league in rebounding 7 times and to be a defensive player of the year 2 times, that takes a skill. So because someone is not as skilled as someone else, don't minimize their skill set.
So I'm going to defend James on this point, though. He did pull his hamstring. He did try to come back against Milwaukee, and he was a flat-out liability. We saw him on the one potential fast break just turn and say, I can't go. I just got to stand here, and I'm going to let all of you run by me, and then I'll start to walk the ball back up the floor because I can't go. I don't have any gear. I don't have any push-off on my hamstring.
But Skip, what we're seeing, guys that we thought were reserved, we see it with Tom. What did Tom? Tom is taking shots at everybody. Oh, you didn't want me? You want to stick with that mofo? Oh, I got an opportunity. And he said, Skip, not that I would have signed with him, but the fact that you tell me no.
Yeah, but he said he needs to keep that motivation to himself.
So Giannis like, all of a sudden, okay, I ain't got no skill. I could go to a super team. I ain't gonna put nobody on the spot. But I could have.
Another shot at Harden.
But I did it. Okay,
but he was blessed. He was fortunate. He was flat out lucky. When he ran into the super team, there was no Kyrie. And there was about a fourth of James Harden, who was a liability to his own team. And all of a sudden, it became 1 on 5. And the 5 was just a little better. But it went to the last drop. It went to a shot that Kevin Durant took in which 1 centimeter of his toe was on the three-point line, or Giannis is going home. That's how close that was.
But the thing is, Skip, we can't hold that against Giannis because you didn't make him go to a skill that he doesn't possess, which is to shoot the ball outside. That's not Giannis. Giannis said, oh, y'all gonna give me the lane?
Thank you.
Why would I shoot the ball outside when I can just go lay the ball up?
Hey, he was free to roam.
Yes.
Man. He was in the biggest comfort zone I've ever seen him in, where he knew he could just get to the basket whenever he wanted.
Right.
So I saw a lot of layups and I saw a lot of dunks.
Yes.
You know what I thought of when the game was over? I thought of my Spurs against LeBron, especially early when they swept him. Yeah, this is when LeBron was LeBron. Yeah. I mean, he was Giannis-like in his ability to just dominate at the rim.
Correct.
Where his athletic ability was supreme. What was their golden rule? What was the Popovich golden rule? No dunks. LeBron cannot dunk, especially in San Antonio. Don't let him dunk. I mean, I'm sorry, at home. Don't let him dunk at home, because he'll just take the roof off the top, right?
But just you gotta evolve. When Jordan didn't have that fadeaway when he first came in the game.
No, he did not.
He's just going over everybody. And then the Pistons forced him to develop an outside game.
They did.
say, because you're not coming in here. If you come in here, Sally, Lambert, Mahorn, they're going to snatch your butt out the air. And he's like, I gotta be able to take some of the blows, but hey, let me do some damage out here. Don't let, what was the rule, Skip? Don't let him take flight. Because if he gets in the air, it's over.
Don't let him launch. Yeah.
But Giannis, Skip,
they didn't have a rule. They needed a Giannis rule.
Yes.
Right. I don't know what you're doing.